Welcome to the Tough Decisions Network. This is your tip of the day. Be sure to visit toughdecisions.net to sign up for our free weekly entrepreneur email, where we send you news about the latest technology for your business, inspiring quotes, and the latest entrepreneur books. That's toughdecisions.net. Before we get started, let's hear from one of our sponsors. Have you ever thought about investing in real estate, but find yourself so busy that you don't have time for it? Do you have FOMO, which is the fear of missing out? At HanfordCapital.com, we help investors with passive real estate investments that project better returns than traditional investment vehicles such as the stock market. If you'd like to find out more about our passive real estate investments, visit HanfordCapital.com. That's HANDFORD capital.com. We will jump on a call with you to discuss your investment goals and to see if our investments are a good fit for you. This advertisement is not to be construed as an offer or recommendation to buy or sell a security. Visit HanfordCapital.com.
In this daily tip, we're going to be talking about a quote by billionaire Steve Jobs. Quote, "You can't just ask customers what they want and then give it to them. By the time you build it, they'll want something new." Now, many of us look at Steve Jobs as a master when it comes to enhancing the customer experience, and I would agree with that as well. He was a master at being able to come up with different types of features for the products that he was selling through Apple to enhance this customer experience, which is why he has such a large following. Even myself, I have an iPhone and I love it. Now, I'm not an Apple fan, I don't like the computers, but I definitely like the iPhone and the iPad. They're just so user-friendly, and that customer experience is very important. Steve Jobs was very good at knowing what the customer wanted prior to the customer even knowing what they wanted, which is kind of a backwards way of thinking about things, but he was so good about knowing what people wanted in his market that he would know what they wanted before they even knew that they wanted it. And this can sometimes be tricky because so many of us think about creating products, or we go ahead and create products or features for products prior to knowing exactly what the customer wants. And I think a lot of this has to do with being within and knowing your customer audience in and out. And a couple of weeks ago, we did an episode on the customer avatar. And so I would encourage you to go back and listen to that episode on the customer avatar to understand what that customer avatar is and how to create that for your business. And I think this quote is also stating something a little bit different as well. I think it's stating that you can also try to implement every feature that your customer requests, but that's not going to be the best way to do things. Every request that every customer wants as far as a feature in their product is not something that you should implement. You must think about these additional features and determine which one of those or how many of those will have the greatest impact for the largest portion of your audience. Now, this isn't stating that you should be taking complaints about a product from dissatisfied customers. You should be taking recommendations from customers who are using your product or service and they're satisfied, but they're giving you some constructive criticism and some feedback on, hey, this is what we would like to see coming out in your product in the next edition or in the future with it. And so here's that quote one more time. Billionaire Steve Jobs says, quote, "You can't just ask customers what they want and then give it to them. By the time you build it, they'll want something new." So make sure that as you create your products or you're adding features to your products, that you always try to think about what the customer wants and try to practice what Steve Jobs did and get very, very good at knowing what the customer wants prior to your customers even knowing what they want.
Thank you for listening to the Tough Decisions Network. Visit toughdecisions.net to sign up for our free weekly entrepreneur email. That's toughdecisions.net.